All right, big fella, what you got?
Well, we're going to change gears and get into another abstract thought, Dave. An abstract thought exercise.
Okay.
All right, I'm with you.
And here's how it all began. My favorite movie to watch of all time is It's a Wonderful Life.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Is that what that is?
Yep. You got
Never
it.
seen it
I've
myself.
ever seen it.
Really?
No.
Shame on you.
Christmas movie, correct?
Yeah. And
I mean,
actually,
or has it
it is.
just stereotypically has been?
Yeah, well, actually, when it first was originated, it wasn't billed as a Christmas movie,
right.
but it has grown into that, which I don't understand that because it just reeks of Christmas. Like, not reeks in a bad way, but it
Yeah.
the Christmas theme is strong there. So anyways, I try to watch it every year because it's a great reminder of how...
We did watch the A Christmas Story. We did watch.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
But it's a good reminder of how good we really have it in life. You could take away the money. You could take away the nice thing. Well, we don't... Janelle would say we don't have money. We don't have nice things, which she's right.
Bullshit.
But compared to some other things, you know, I got my friends.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Got this podcast, got Couch Guy. We got good people around us. We're very fortunate, very blessed. And it's a
Too blessed
wonderful...
to be stressed.
And It's a Wonderful Life is a good reminder that even in the darkest days and most down moments I run into, I am very fortunate to have a wife that loves me.
Gracias.
3 healthy kids, all that good stuff. So anyways, what I started to think about was, what if movies didn't end the way that they did, as they were written, as they were shot, as they were produced? I.e., you could live in an alternate universe, and this is how the ending could be out. And the part where I've got listed here, It's a Wonderful Life, Saving Private Ryan, Star Wars, Die Hard, Shawshank Redemption, etc. These nonfiction or these fiction movies that are created in a Hollywood lab. And my thought, because there's a part in It's a Wonderful Life that I absolutely hate. And it's when that son of a bitch keeps Uncle Billy's money instead of turning it back over. And I thought, how great would it be if there's a sequel and they're slapping old man Potter in cuffs and taking his wheelchair ass to the pokey? You know what I mean? Because he doesn't.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Never
So
seen
there.
it.
Neither one of you have ever seen it?
No, sounds pretty sketchy. I mean, it sounds like that guy needs his ass.
That's wild that we've never seen that. I feel like you and I and Dave are usually on the pretty there's not many things.
You've never.
I know, man.
So let me set this.
Go to Shawshank. Have you seen Shawshank?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
But my example is through It's a Wonderful Life. So let me just set this premise.
Yeah.
So
paint me a picture, Picasso.
I will. So there's the Bailey boys,
Got it.
there's an older Bailey boy.
Uh-huh.
That's George, and then there's a younger Bailey boy that's Harry.
Okay.
So this movie starts in the early 1912, 1919, whatever it is. So anyways, how it starts out is the boys are sledding down a hill across a frozen river.
Okay.
And they all get there and they get off, and except for when it's the younger Bailey boy, Harry's turn. Harry goes down the hill, but he doesn't stop. He keeps sliding. And he slides to where there's no ice. He falls in. George jumps in and rescues Harry. So George jumps in, rescues Harry, gets Harry out. George then, and this tells you the times, gets an illness.
Yeah.
They just say he, had an illness. And
Pneumonia, probably, huh?
part of it was he lost hearing in I think it's his left ear.
Okay.
So you fast forward a little bit. He's recovered. It's summer. And the woman he ends up marrying is sitting in the pharmacy, which back then your pharmacy also had a soda shop, a homemade old soda shop.
Oh, yeah.
So she whispers in George Bailey's bad ear, someday I'm going to marry you, while he's making something for somebody else. Well, about this time, the pharmacist, this is 1918 or 1919 because the Spanish flu, the pharmacist, where they still made the actual drugs through the capsules and they had the powder and they'd make the capsules and do all that other stuff, ended up making poison pills.
Oh.
And he's drunk because he had just got the telegram notice that his son had succumbed to the Spanish flu.
Oh, man.
And so he's had on a bad one. George catches it. George says, well, I don't think you meant to send these because it's poison. And about that time, the pharmacist slaps George around in his bad ear and he starts to bleed and all that other stuff. Then he points out, hey,
is this a color movie or black
and white?
Oh, wow.
Oh, you don't ruin this. It's a black and white.
Okay.
They actually colorized it, and James Stewart, who starred as George Bailey, was like, I don't like it. It's meant to be a black and white.
Oh, wow.
So this happens, and then the pharmacist realizes, and he's like, oh, my God, you saved him. Like, sorry. And George is like, I know you didn't mean it. I know your son died. Got it. So then it fast forwards a little bit further. Harry Bailey is graduating from high school. George goes to the party as just kind of that older brother that's hanging around. That's where he gets dancing with the sweetie from the soda shop counter. And then they fall into the pool because this school actually designed a gym floor that retracts off and there's a pool below, which it's actual, if you do a little digging.
There's a pool that does that.
There's an actual pool in California where they shot this, they installed it as like a government works project during the Great Depression. So that's how they meet. They have a night. Well, unfortunately, George's dad has a stroke.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Dave. So George's dad has a stroke. When all this is going on, George's dad passes. And there's the Bailey Building and Loan. So think about how old school that. It's a building and loan. It's not a bank, but it's a building and loan. And so that's what the Bailey boys were into, George's dad and then his Uncle Billy. Well, when George's dad passes away, they're at the board meeting and they say, well, if old man Bailey's gone, we just might as well fold this shop up. As you could imagine, a building and loan isn't making a ton of money, probably sometimes tough to pay its bills, but this just shows the hero the Baileys are because they provide an alternative to the slums that are old man Potter, who's the bank owner and owns a bunch of businesses and all that other stuff. So you fast forward to it, George ends up running the building and loan. Well, in the timeline, George is heading to travel. He wants to get out. Like, that's his theme. Like, I want to get out of Great Bedford Falls. Well, the Great Depression happens, and there's a run on the banks. Or no, take that back. So he stays back. He starts running the shop when his dad. He sends Harry off to college. So Harry goes off to college, comes back. Well, Harry's married to a woman whose dad's in manufacturing in our industry and says, well, Harry's got this great opportunity elsewhere. He's not coming back here, which kicks old George in the dick because he planned on scooting town. Well, he ends up getting married to the same woman that he was dancing with at the graduation. Like she had come back. Yeah. And so that love story takes off. They get married. They're going on their honeymoon. First chance George gets to travel. Well, they don't because guess what happens? The Great Depression, the run on the bank.
Oh.
So their honeymoon money ends up keeping the old building and loan open. And then that's how it shows them building their life. Everything happens. WW2 occurs. Harry Bailey wins the Presidential Medal of Honor. The younger brother, because he went off, he becomes the war hero. Mm-hmm. Old George stays at home, can't enter the military because of his ear. So Harry is coming home. They're going to have a big to-do. Well, the bank examiner shows up at the building and loan. Uncle Billy that morning went to go deposit $8,000. He has it folded up in a newspaper that he accidentally gives to Mr. Potter and says, hey, read this about one of those Bailey boys. He's had success. Kind of flipping the middle bird to old man Potter. Well, Uncle Billy is known as being forgetful. He has the knots.
He can't recall how he misplaced.
Missed the funds. Turns out as Mr. Potter goes back, he opens it up. There's an envelope, $8,000 cash. Well, of course, the bank examiner says, you have it on your books that you've got $8,000, but as I'm going through everything, you're short $8,000. Uncle Billy can't find it. They issue a warrant for him, all that other stuff. He comes back. There's a segment with the kids. He's in a bad mood, can't understand, so he leaves. He's got this insurance policy that's worth $15,000, and he's standing on
The bridge.
and he decides he's going to jump in.
Well, he got drunk at a bar first.
Yeah, he went to Mr. Martini's.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Martini had bought one of the Bailey houses in that Bailey park and had given Mr. Martini a home. And so anyways, George is drunk, wrecks his car, he goes to the bridge. That's where Clarence, his guardian angel, comes in, who doesn't have his angel wings yet. So Clarence appears in the river below. George jumps in to save him. So then they're sitting at the toll booth. The toll workers there, they're talking, all this other stuff. So George Bailey says, well, I wish I was never born. So then they kind of play that, let's rewind all this stuff back. So it goes back to...
Remember, no man is a failure who has friends.
Exactly.
Thanks for the wings.
And so what happens is they play it back. Harry doesn't save all those people and gets the Medal of Honor because, well, Harry drowned that day. The guy that was the pharmacist ends up going to prison because he killed that person that day. His wife turns out to be an old maid because he wasn't there to marry her, and the Bailey building alone doesn't exist, and everybody's living in these slums in Potterville. So that's when he comes to this conclusion, well, you know what? I may go to prison, but I got my family, I got my wife, I've got all these other great things.
It's a wonderful life.
And it turns out to be, he really does have a wonderful life.
Wow.
So in the whole scheme of talking about this for 10 minutes, the point of it is what happens if Mr. Potter gets arrested? Or let's say George does commit suicide. It turns into a little bit darker. Like there's a lot of those things. So in those other examples I had listed, Shawshank Redemption, imagine if Andy Dufresne, not Andy
died
Dufresne,
in the shitter pipe.
Yeah.
dies in the shitter pipe, or Morgan Freeman guy
Never got out.
hangs himself. Red hangs himself at the halfway house. So I was just sitting there thinking about like Die Hard. Let's say he fails atop a Yamamoto Tower or whatever it is, or Star Wars. Let's say Darth Vader wins. I just think it would be interesting that you could pick the movie if it turns out that way and say, hey, I want this ending where in Saving Private Ryan, that guy like just died in the battle right before they get there.
Or they never secure the bridge and those German tanks just truck
roll right through
and wipe out the next battalion.
Or Tom Hanks doesn't actually die.
Yeah.
He's like, this mission's dumb, find somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, I just think
cold, honey?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm hot.
I'm good.
It's probably the bourbon.
It's great.
But that's what I was thinking about. And long way around it, this topic should be now labeled a description of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
But
no need to watch it. Lindemann's
covered it pretty in depth.
Yeah.
I bet if you read that from Wikipedia, I'm probably pretty spot on.
Like literally verbatim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the movie. It's great. It is.
I think
pretty-
the
I
movies
did. Pretty
go
impressive.
like that because, unfortunately, I think most of the time that's not a wonderful life.
Well, I know.
Like I feel like that's why
You're
it's a
escaping the
movie.
realities of life.
Because normally Darth Vader wins. Andy Dufresne dies of sepsis after he goes through the shit.
Waller's through a shit tube.
Band of Brothers. The Germans get across the bridge.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
That's the one. Band of Brothers. They didn't find.
Well, and that's why I stayed away from movies that were made with like a historical perspective, because then you're talking about time travel and changing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if the writers at the table decided, hey, we're really going to mess with these people, a Hallmark movie, for instance. We all love the Christmas Hallmark movies.
Oh, God.
Big fan of them.
My mom probably watches 40 hours every year.
I could tell you with probably 98% accuracy how this movie is going to play out.
Within the first 20 minutes.
It's the least likely thing that would happen in real life.
It's the same description of everything that they do.
Yeah.
And what if that one time Hallmark's like, you know what? Let's really mess with people. Let's write this to where that son of a bitch goes back to New York City and leaves the old country girl with her child at home.
They wouldn't make any money, man. Nobody wants to watch real life.
But it's all about viral hits. You know how big of a hit that would be?
Yeah.
If they premiered that one on like December 1 or whatever it would be, or, Black Friday, there's the big premiere for that Christmas movie. And it turns out
instead of this heartwarming big juicy makeout scene in front of the town square Christmas
As it
tree.
starts to fake snow.
This dude's getting on an airplane to go
back to his supermodel girlfriend in New York and his $1 million a year salary.
Oh, shit. Hey, this weekend was fun. I'm going to go hang out with my bros and slay it.
Hey, it was good to see you. Glad you haven't changed much from high school, but old Giselle back in New York is a little bit taller, a little bit prettier, and makes a hell of a lot more money.
She's got more money than you.